2 o'clock, 1,300 hours. Go ahead and call our meeting to order for the Garden Valley Fire Protection District Board of Commissioners. Call to order. Phil Palmiano, present.
Mike Van Dyke, present. Mike Dolan, present. Chief Cleveland, present.
Any amendments to the agenda?
Okay, one. Executive session is talk about personnel issues.
So Mike's got a motion to.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
And I'd like to propose an amendment. I'd like to open a discussion about the process if we were to try to add 2 commissioners.
We could put that under new business, 10.1. I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the consent agenda items will be enacted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on items unless a board member, staff, or member of the public requests renewal of the item for separate action. So we've reviewed, or each of us individuals have reviewed the minutes from the previous meeting, expenditures, and so I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence? Do you have any new correspondence?
No.
No? Okay. Public participation. Members of the public may comment on an agenda item before action is taken and after the board has discussed the item. Any member of the public making a public comment shall state their name and address for the record prior to addressing the board. Allow 3 minutes per speaker. No discussion on any agenda items? Okay. Public comment section. This part of the meeting is reserved for people who wish to address the board on any matter not on the agenda. Name and address shall be stated for the record prior to addressing the board. Any matter that requires board action will be referred to staff or board member for approved report and action subsequent board meeting. Again, in all 3 minutes. Immediately. Names. Public comment?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
You're right there.
All right. So, Jason Solomon, 21 Schoolhouse Gulch Road. I have 2 items I'd like to put on the record, and I'll hand them out after I'm done. The Garden Valley Citizens Committee proposed levy position paper was released on April 18th. It included data, records requests, along with our opinions and recommendations. We wanted the citizens of Garden Valley to have access to the data and to hear opposing opinions. We've also steered citizens to our website for those records because they requested records also, so we weren't burdening the fire department. This data brought up numerous questions and nearly unlimited back and forth conversations on social media. In December of 2025, we posted the following statement on our website. Even though our initial focus is with Garden Valley Fire Protection District, we see this committee as able to serve Garden Valley and Boise County alongside all government agencies. Our goal is simple. We want to help plan a better future for fire and EMS response in Garden Valley following the failure of the levy back in November. We have no desire to benefit financially from our opposition to this current levy now or in the future. In closing, I would like to make the final statement. Elected officials serve the will of the public and are entrusted with public funds and decision-making authority. With that trust comes an obligation to operate transparently and to accept reasonable scrutiny, including public records requests and open examination of their actions. Accountability is not hostility, it is a fundamental part of representative government. So I'd like to just provide the position paper for everybody here, as far as the commissioners and for the record. And also, what I just read off. All right, thank you.
Sure.
Implementing NFPA 1010 is a big one for you. And on several occasions, you have mentioned that we need to lower the standards that the fire district has attained so that people that don't qualify can drive the fire trucks. And that kind of sounds pretty selfish for your group. Lower the standards so we can play in the sandbox is basically everything you put out. That's basically what it says. It doesn't give a cohesive financial plan. It doesn't give anything how the community benefits if we lower the standards. Right now, the fire department has SOGs. We have firefighters that are qualified. They can go to work anywhere. We're going through, what is it, the ISO? Is that what it's called? The ISO evaluation, which helps people retain or even get homeowners insurance. It rates our fire response times. Why is your position, I don't even have to ask why, we know why. You guys want to drive an ambulance, a fire truck, and you're upset that the fire district is doing so well. So I don't give any credence to your argument. And that's, you asked for my position, and that will be it. I mean, there's nothing in there of substance. Nothing.
You have 3 minutes to respond.
No, I responded to you. You don't get to respond this time. You can write another one for the next
pretty
meeting.
specific.
Huh?
NFPA 1010 is pretty specific.
That's right. If you want to clean toilets and sweep the shop, you
That's
can
not
do
what it's
that.
talking about. Look at the training options that are out there that you can buy into programs that.
We did, so we're done.
So in February, I asked Commissioner.
So we're done.
So
We are done.
that's your point.
Yeah.
Your position.
That's my position. You didn't offer me anything worth substance. And I think that a lot of people here, we're hearing the same thing. I don't know if anybody else has anything. Yeah.
Well, what I see in a lot of the correspondence going back are a lot of contradictions in what you're saying. You say you support the firefighters, but at the same time, you don't feel that they should be compensated in any way whatsoever.
Incorrect. Paid per call, it's in there. Paid per call statements.
Also, on your website, you have what we do and what we do not do. And you tell us what you do all the time, reviewing publicly available information. You conduct independent research. You encourage informed community discussion on Facebook, which a lot of people don't belong to Facebook. And you share non-binding observations and recommendations, which means basically non-binding that you can just throw anything out there and it doesn't have to be true or binding. What you say you do not do is set policy, budgets, or taxes. Okay? But you're trying to influence setting policy, budgets, and taxes. You don't directly speak, you don't direct the public agency or operations or staffing. Okay? But you're trying to influence and you're trying to direct this public agency operations and staffing. You don't speak for any public agency, but on we've already talked to you about your email address that I don't know if you've ever changed it, was GVFDCC, which appears to be Garden Valley Fire Department Communities or Citizens Committee, which it is not.
I explained the reason that was.
Yeah, I understand the reason, doesn't mean that it's right. because you're showing that you're an approved
Negative.
agency.
We expressed
From the-
that months ago that we were not, and that's why we changed our original name to just Garden Valley Citizens Committee. We'd already established that email, and it was to establish emails for the fire department separate from the other taxing districts.
But the general public, I don't think, sees it that way. And then you say you don't handle complaints or emergency requests, but it seems to be on your Facebook page that you do a lot of that. Not to mention directing negative comments towards the chief and members of the fire community. So that's just some of the contradictions I'm seeing. We listened to the community, and they said the last levy was too expensive, so we cut it down, and the new levy is 40% of the last levy. People can decide if it's worth it to them or not to be able to compensate qualified firefighters and EMTs. Yeah. You have anything, Mike?
You guys said it all.
Anyone else have any community comments? Yes, Jeffrey?
Hi, I'm Kevin Jeffries, live up at 7 Arena Road, up by your station up the road. I don't know if I call it a fire station, but it houses a couple apparatus, so it's good for my insurance. Thank you. I want to speak to an effort that was started the end of last year involving citizens here in the community to help on volunteer recruitment and retention statewide. That ended up being a draft bill for legislation to be introduced to the state capitol, and started gathering statewide stakeholders. The state budget pretty much tanked financially as far as anything that was going to have a new cost, and the legislator who was supposed to introduce it didn't get it introduced, and so the decision was made after consulting with some of the other fire chiefs to pull it back and reintroduce this next session. We had a conference call yesterday with the chief of Moscow Fire, Cascade, Nampa, and the Idaho Association of Fire Chiefs wants to run with the bill this next session to help volunteer departments across the state. And they have a lobbyist that works in the Capitol full-time on this kind of stuff as well. And so they're going to help run this effort this next go-around. It's mostly going to be led by efforts of the volunteer fire chiefs who have a lot of volunteers versus the paid chiefs who have pretty much only a paid staff who don't have the same issues that we have in rural communities. So I just want to let you know that that's going to come back. A lot of the work, I shouldn't say a lot of the work, a lot of the input that I was able to obtain, and then Jason and others were able to work on this. I got a lot from the chief here in Austin about how the internal workings are of your department. So those ideas were reflected in the initial draft language. So Garden Valley's had some input into that process. It may be more appropriate for the chief here to get involved at the state level with this next go around, but it's good news until the legislature says we don't have any money. But we may try to look at submitting it without any incentives, which equal cost, to get the camel's nose under the tent, and then come back and work on it in subsequent years. So I think it's good news. I'm glad to see a larger base of stakeholders across the state, and I think it will help move it through the legislature. So we'll see at the end of this year. So that was my update. Thank you.
It's 7 Arena Road?
That's correct.
He didn't sign in.
I didn't even see it up there.
I was
I
trying
got him on
I was trying to put it on here for you.
I'm surprised you don't have a rubber stamp.
You have public comment?
I thank GVCC for posting the fire department documents on their website. Access to these source documents allowed me to evaluate their levy position paper and other reports. I am concerned about their aggressive approach in the levy position paper, which urges citizens to vote decisively no. They told me they were formed to provide information and to support the fire and EMS services, but over time, their actions seem intended to undermine those involved with the fire department. I have observed the following. Rather than contacting the fire department directly, they have used social media to insinuate the department is incompetent and misleading the community. Their members have acted aggressively towards commissioners and attendees at meetings. During one confrontation, this was pointed out to the members. No apology was offered. Instead, the member said it was just his personality. They posted reports with highlights that implied financial misconduct. After reviewing the detailed reports on their website, I found clear explanation for all these items. I did not see any inappropriate fund usage, and the fire department books are audited annually in accordance with the law. I found significant inaccuracies in their financial analysis of their levy position paper. 1. Funds available at the beginning of the year are used for both operating expenses and reserve funds, not exclusively for reserve or capital funds. 2. They state on 1/1/2023, funds available were $414,000, but their own chart and bank statement shows the balance as $400,000. 3. They state on 1/1/2026, funds available were $106,000, yet the bank statement on their website shows $164,000. 4. They report the decrease in funds from 1/1/2023 to 1/1/2026 as $308,000, when the actual figure is only $236,000. They overstated the reduction in funds by $72,000. They also forgot that major asset expenditures of $206,000 contributed to the decline of funds. 5. The on-call program ensures that qualified responders are available. All recruits meet the same standards, so Boise recruits do not negatively impact the level of service. Pushing for standards where unqualified individuals might drive emergency vehicles poses a safety risk to both patients and the community. They would not be able to assist, and there is an additional cost for those individuals. 6. A nearby ambulance taxi district costs an average of $200 per year plus a separate tax for fire. There is a record of 3 of the 4 ambulances out of service in one district servicing multiple towns. Our ambulance service provides consistent quality service. We need to keep our ambulance service within the fire department, not outsource it. It appears that GVCC did not do due diligence before providing their reports, comments, and suggestions to the public. They constantly mention transparency and accountability, but they do not hold themselves to the same standards. They are not transparent in what they are trying to accomplish. They are not accountable for the abuse towards individuals in their attempt at destroying a department that is focused on providing the highest quality of service and giving back to this community. I love Garden Valley, and it is heartbreaking to see our community divided by inaccurate reports and personal opinions. No matter what your personal feelings are for any individual, all of us should be thankful and proud that the Garden Valley Fire Department, Their dedication to training and service is exceptional. They have worked so hard over the years to improve the response time, quality of care, and department policy and procedure. It has to be understood it takes time to make changes, and they are continuing to work extremely hard to do even better. Oh, sorry, Linda Van Vleck, 3 North Road.
Are you an accountant?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Oh, can I just say one thing? It was very difficult for me to bring this up because I am shaking right now because I am afraid of any repercussions of me stating these things on Facebook or anywhere.
No, thank you. That was clear and concise. Truly appreciate it.
Okay, what I would like to do actually next is do the chief and staff reports, because the old and ongoing business is going to take quite a bit. We're actually going to go through, we've got the apparatus out, and we're going to go through the apparatus report that has been provided for us, and we're going to familiarize ourselves with the apparatus a little bit more, and talk about what we need to do in the future with all the different apparatus. So if we could move to Chief of Staff reports.
Thank you, Commissioners. And welcome, public. Month of April, we had 16 alarms. Average dispatch time from call for one of our members being on scene is 14.7 minutes. We completed some of our wireline refresher training. Then we did some EMS splinting and wireline injuries. We did a propane class. Matter of fact, Captain Fields took the propane class up in Orofino, so he brought some good new up-to-date information training-wise and stuff like that. We're continuing doing the tabletop scene size ups and IC and responsibilities to where, where that person's going to place that apparatus on scene and kind of do things like that. All 3 stations are in good condition. End of the month, the Firehawk crews are going to be staying at Station 2 again, so that contract's been completed and signed. Let's see what else. Not much else when it comes to that. I'd like the public to know that Garden Valley spent some time, so May 14th, which is Thursday at 7 o'clock at night, we are going to have representatives from the Forest Service, Idaho Department of Lands, East Boise County Medical or Emergency Office is going to be there, the sheriff, and as well as us. So we're going to talk about our collaboration and partnerships and what this season looks like, and just let everybody visit, learn the faces of all of our representatives. Yes?
Could you clarify when and where?
Yeah, yep, 7 o'clock Thursday night at the Senior Center.
Oh, okay.
I think I might have forgot the Senior Center. Yeah, I think it's.
There's a couple extra flyers.
You said the 14th was kind of replaced.
So that's something. So yeah, Commissioners, we spent time getting all the apparatus over here. This represents our $1.3 million worth of assets on wheels. This doesn't take into account the equipment and all that stuff that we put on rigs, just stuff with tires. $1.3 million is what we're responsible for here. So thank you to the Commissioners that we brought every piece of equipment down, and we'll be able to go through those and talk about specifics if you would like, and just introduce everybody to our fleet.
I have a couple of questions on your report. You said we had 16 alarms.
Yes.
Were there any of those fire or were they all EM or rescue?
95% of our EMS.
95%. And then the Firehawk contract, I read that. And so since this is looking like a dry year, maybe a dry fall, it shows a start and finish date. After the finish date, if they need to extend, is there an avenue to do that?
Yeah,
To extend the contract?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
just a friendly phone call, and
Okay,
we can extend if we need to.
all right.
The last couple of years, they rent the place out for the summer, but we see them like maybe once or twice.
Okay,
So they're gonna, I think last year they didn't even show up until probably like the middle of August. They were so busy, they didn't even show up until like August.
all right. Because, do you have any questions?
Yeah, so what, they've got a contract for the
Yeah.
summer, whether they're
No, I knew that part, but then it ends, but if the fire season continues, I just wondered what the avenue was to provide them.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a good working relationship with them, so it's just
Okay.
a phone call. Pretty open and flexible to make so.
And have we certified any more EMTs this month?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we've had one more become a state certified EMT.
So how many do you have now, Chief?
That'd be 24 out of the 29 people that we have currently.
Sweet.
That's a little bit over 73% of our staff.
Okay.
So we're moving in the right direction, in a good direction. A lot of people are dual trained, triple trained. Some people do swift water, rope rescue, wildland. So, I mean, we have some amazing people here who are like Swiss Army knives. That's the only way I can explain. They do everything. They do rope, they do swift water, they do wildland, they do public relations events. I mean,
PMT also?
yes, yes.
Across the board, we have firefighters certified and all. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're aware that we do a lot of our own in-house training.
Right. I was aware of that. I learned that last week.
Thank you, Chief, for that.
You're welcome.
So on the old and ongoing business, I know the fee schedule was being worked on with attorney. What's the status of that?
Yes, we're finally in to turn forward with the fee schedule, so that should be completed and done within the next few weeks. I think our legal team said it's like one of the most comprehensive fee schedules they've seen in a while, so it took a little bit to make their way through the whole thing to make sure it's all legal and justified.
Okay, sounds good. When we get that back, we'll move forward with getting it posted.
So,
Okay, great. So then the next item then is the apparatus update. And you've got your report on that. So I think especially for Mr. Dolan, since he's kind of new to fire, and then even for myself and Mr. Van Dyke, some of the apparatus was here when we were here, and some of it is new to us and stuff. So I think in order for us to be able to make good decisions about the fleet and moving forward, we need to really familiarize ourselves with each of the apparatus and what their longevity is and what their function is and so forth. So we're going to go ahead and move throughout. We're going to stay here on this at the station, but we're going to move through and look at each of the apparatus. You all are welcome to stay if you like.
Please come and see.
And yeah, we'll see what we've got some firefighters here that are going to help us out with explaining what each is all about. So, then we'll come back for new business.
Solid. Good opportunity. What the community owns and what the capabilities
My wife's gone, so we
Oh, yeah.
Have it all together,
I can never different. I like
Report tender is our first three out, and then we have to respond medically as well. So those four are going out for sure. I'd like to get one of the duty officer vehicles out first to do a size up, first on scene, kind of engine captain type of position, get that resources kind of give a report, size up, but then kind of whatever else is needed.
For those 2 years.
Type 6 brush rigs. Type 6 brush vehicles, brush rigs. So they're both 400 gallons. Type
Do we
6.
have enough manpower to show up and handle all these things?
Everything at once?
What do you need for this?
So if we had,
I know there were some people pretty upset watching the chief stand over there watching the building run. Waiting for somebody to show up.
you talking about the one on 17, the business complex? Yeah, our engine, I think our on scene time for our engine is 12 minutes, I believe, which is pretty fast. I could pull the actual Boise County report for you if you'd like, but yeah, I believe the engine was on scene in 12 minutes, which, yeah, I mean, responding to the station, and then you and I have been getting out to the it's certainly that's one of the faster structure responses for sure. I mean, anytime you don't have a staffed station, your response time is going to be a little bit limited.
This is what we're using more for fire, do the water tank, dump the water tank, and then fill it. It's a more of a shop. The water to the fire.
There's a water pump below.
We run Southwest Landing, filled up with
Thanks, Jason, for that.
Are you using the pump at all for stuff that is level, not, no head pressure, like the transfer or something?
It gets out towards the end, so most of our pumping apparatus is already in place, and that's just a water buffalo running water back and forth.
So it gravity drains into the temporary, what do you call that?
Pond?
The pond?
Yeah, it's gravity.
Okay. And then, can a pumper take suction off of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
I gotta keep you awake on that camera over there.
Yeah.
So this is 803. This is our main pumping engine. No problems with it. It carries 1,000 gallons. But this is our newest one. With good maintenance and everything, this should be well into service until 2035. So it gives us some flexibility right now while kind of looking towards the future and what the community needs and stuff like that. So this is a good war horse. It, maybe a couple $100 a year worth of maintenance to it.
Capacity?
1,000 gallons. Just passed its pump test a couple weeks ago. So it's all NFPA. Did our yearly annual pump test on it.
Hey, Chief, this doesn't have the smog crap on it, does it?
No,
That's a 2005.
no, it's the tender that's got the depth.
Well, the only reason I asked is my boy worked for the fire department. They had them goddamn things on it. They were going to the goddamn freeway down there, and the goddamn thing goes into regenerate,
Yeah, regen.
and the damn thing just crapped out on the freeway,
No, this is kind of like the flagship engine for Garden Fire District. It's got our thermal imagers on. Our firefighters can take these in the house. This is a 2012, 14. Plus, we got a couple of personal devices. So, if you get a report of someone in the house, we can take those in and search for where the seat of the fire is, and we can see the outlines of bodies in the house through the smoke with those.
I have 2005, so it might be a 2006.
So you can pull a tender up and transfer to this? That's right.
You could either nurse this one or drop a pond, and
So there's several options.
yeah. Usually we nurse a lot. It looks like it's a pretty good fire with some pretty good BTUs come off it. We'll drop some ponds and start getting a whole lot tender train going.
A pond.
So there's portable ponds. There, it's like a canvas with a metal frame around it.
yeah, I've seen
And
those.
you open it out and you can dump 3,000 gallons in it. And then this can draft out of that with a hard suction line. Oh, like a bladder.
That's what they
Yeah,
set up
yeah.
with, when they had the major fires here, they set those around houses.
Yeah.
The tender carried one collapsed in the back. It's underneath. So,
Okay.
Up to the
Yes, it does. You did a good job, doesn't he? Oh.
Well, I know that, yeah, I know you guys have to come out. You got to have that.
This is our cycle one tactical tender.
Name Charlie.
The what? Charlie.
Come on, no. Charlie,
They have a contract with the Q. They come out of their base by St. Alfred's. So if yeah. So if Horseshoe Bend doesn't have the staffing, which is like a pretty good portion of the time.
we have all
It takes a long time. And they're charging when you get there. They're charging Horseshoe Bend $400 anytime they get someone back.
I mean, it's.
It would be nice.
Any other departments in Boise County would love to have Apparatus.
And this is this thing here is it's always on my mind because it's in such good shape. It drives so good. It still pumps good. It just failed at the last 28, 29 minutes.
It reminds us of early in our careers.
Well, that's it.
You know? But I mean, really, the question, I know that it fails the pump test just before the pump test is over from the overheating. So it still pumps and stuff. And so back to a question I had 2 months ago, I think it was, about MVAs. Are you guys using this as fire suppression on an MVA to have on scene?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're going to pump your tank, 500 gallons or whatever it holds.
Oh well, it's 1,000 gallons.
1,000.
So my fit, according to some of the NFPA and stuff, it depends on, it's not high flow. We're not going to be flowing, a couple, 3,000 gallons. There's going to be short little spurts. It's never overheated. And then if we, once commissioners get a good idea of what's going on, if we, reclassify it as 1,000 gallons per minute, it still fits within NFPA. So it's not going to affect ISO ratings and stuff with it.
It would change the type of engine, right?
Yeah, it'll change the type of engine, but it won't affect. Well, not necessarily. You can use a 1,000-gallon engine for structure fires. So,
1,000 GPM engine.
yeah, so it's still going back and forth, and kind of like getting all the commissioners together to have a chance to see it, look at it. I mean, that's it's still
weighing out the cost of trying to replace it is, versus
yeah, because then we run into the situation if we get a used one, it starts nickel and diming us. You buy used equipment, you never know. They're not going to tell you everything.
So how outfitted is it still for fire? I mean, like a car fire, you're going to have your SCBAs, right? Hose line, but then you have your auto extrication equipment in here. But
yeah, because we took it off 803 because 803 is a little bit overweight. So we cleaned this one up, got everything off it. Set this up for like the heavy rescue for all the tools, cribbing, everything goes into the car fire. You still got the SCBAs on it in case if there's a rescue or a car fire, someone's still trapped, they can still. But anything that comes in as actual working car fire on 55, we usually either take 821 or 803. Especially with electric vehicles nowadays, they usually, you guys have heard Boise County's dispatch before, it's not real detailed. So if you hear a car fire, if it comes in car fire, it'll be one of those two vehicles going. The thing I've seen over the last 15 years has been really noticeable is we're not extricating people out of vehicles like we were before. All the extricating people from vehicles anymore, usually the way they're built with crumple zones, they're still sitting inside that, or they're staying on the side of the road waiting for us to get there, or they were going so fast the whole thing obliterated and ended up in a river. It's not very often we're setting up come-alongs and dash poles or popping doors and stuff anymore, so that's kind of something I've noticed over like the last 15 to 20 years. As the car manufacturers get more safe, it's taking our fun tools out of the...
Well, even with car fires anymore, you stand a chance of having a wildland fire in this country. So.
Yeah. So you guys can take a look through it. It still drives great. We use it for trainings, for pumping wise and stuff. Pumps great, drives great.
And this is the one where they said to diagnose that too many temperature overheat, $80,000 to diagnose it, and then they'll figure out what the repair will cost.
Yeah, and then if it was a transmission, they wanted to charge us another 10 to 15.
No, I get it. I just wanted to make sure I understood it correctly. That was to diagnose it and not to repair it.
It would still, for the pump wise, they'd still have to tear it apart to see. Right. But to diagnose exactly what's going on.
Okay.
One company will do the pump, and another company will do the transmission and coolant, but
okay.
Still kind of odd to fail at the last 2 minutes.
Right.
After it's ran like that for
running normal. So it could just be a sensor. It could be something simple.
Yeah, because it's 92, they were just starting to introduce some of the electronics into the fire apparatus. So theoretically, it could be something with the motherboard, computer board, sensors. So we're just administratively keeping it on the safe side for our people.
Thank you.
So it's in really good shape. It'd make it a lot easier if it looked like it rolled a few times and seen better days. Still might be something there to salvage and
I like having your own chat.
get everything we can out of it.
So it's not usable?
No, it's still usable. Just from EMT wise, you can't put people into a structure with a hose coming off it because of the pump failing. Administratively, we moved it into a squad support vehicle, so it can do exposure control and stuff like that. You just can't put a human being on the end of that nozzle.
It's inside the burning.
That's inside the burning structure, or puts them in harm's way.
Chief, I got a question for you. We're always, as firefighters, what if this doesn't work, what's the next plan? So if 803 has some major issue and it's down for an extended period of time, this doesn't meet the standards, that does. What's the plan for another rig? Because we only got 2 seats in that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what that plan is.
No, we're looking at a couple other plans. There's a couple of engines out there that we're looking at. And we're going to talk some more about that. So that's one plan. I mean, staffing wise, with 4 people, I mean, 2 on this, 1 on a tender, 1 on a medic unit. It's still going to complete the same mission. We just have to rotate seats and stuff.
So, let me see if I get this straight. So if you send this to a fire, you got 2 people. You send a tender, the tender guy, I'm going to take him out of the equation because he's just filling it on or whatever. But you're sending the 8-car will roll also, correct? So, and then the command vehicle. Okay, so that puts 5 people on scene, 1 on-site commander. You still have 4 firefighters available because the EMTs are also firefighters, right? So that gives you rotation until other people can show up.
Correct.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
I thought I gathered that from her.
Yeah, when we put our IEPs out, we'll sometimes do that. We'll bring the medic unit up and have them suit up, meet with command, and then they'll be assigned to either fire attack or assist with water operations.
Okay.
So that incident commander on scene, he's counting bodies and he's putting them in the right positions at the moment. All right. Up to the type 6. All right, hot.
Absolutely. So this one's 2006. That other one up there is a 2006.
So this is our Wildland engine.
They got this.
This guy is 7,000 miles or so. 7,033.
So this is one of our Wildland engines. We got 40, 42, 41. What's that? This is a 4-seater. We usually leave this one for the responders. Oh, go ahead, Dylan.
I just finished the conversation.
Go ahead.
This is our 2016 brush rig. This is our newest of all the brush rigs. FI50 chassis, roughly 7,000 miles on it. Right, so custom built bed by BME down in Boise. We carry everything you might need in these, including probably 600 feet of hose, miscellaneous adapters, nozzles, anything what we might need to either fill this truck or tie into an existing hose line built by maybe Forest Service. Just like this other one here, we got dual hose reels each side. We also have a probably 200-foot reconnect right here, just to get a good head start on a wet line that we might need for our wildland issues. We also on these carry enough tools to probably staff about 5 different people on a hand line. So 400 gallons. We're pushing out probably 200 GPM through an 1.5-inch line out the back here. Has all the capabilities we ever need on a wildland, period. Carry chains for self-rescue. We got a nice winch bumper on it. Carry chainsaw, chaps, all of that needed for a saw boss. Very capable, all obviously 4-wheel drive. Set up a radio, of course.
Question for you.
Absolutely.
You said 400 gallons?
400 gallons.
So 400 gallons, how do you nurse this? If you have all that line out, that means this thing's anchored. In my mind, it's anchored. And so is that, you nurse it with one of these two?
Yep, so
Okay.
we have an 1.5-inch inlet, and we also have suction. So if we wanted to, we can bring a tender in, drop a pond right next to it,
Okay.
hook up the suction to it, run directly off of that. Or we can have, say, 43 or 1,000-gallon truck come in, hook right up, and nurse for a wildland incident.
So could you pull out of like a pond source, like somebody's pond on their property, or a river?
Yep.
Okay.
So we have 30 feet of suction capability on this truck.
Okay.
Great. So along with a good foot valve, right?
Yeah, right.
So that makes a huge difference. The valve we use on these.
Right.
So we won't lose prime. We do 2 different water sources. We can come have an engine pushing in, while another one's dumping in the tank, and we can get one flick of the lever and we can go between the two to be fed.
So are you mainly supporting the wildfire, the Forest Service, or are you doing this independently? Or how?
So what we do is if we get called for a wildland incident, we are considered initial attack. So we are there to buy time until the Forest Service gets there. Once the Forest Service gets there, they will take over the incident, and they have 24 hours, I believe, of us if they want to bring us into the incident and say, hey, can you stick around for X amount of time? They have 24 hours, and then after that, it's a renegotiation of different things on a higher level than me.
Do they pay you?
So that's where the 24 hours comes in. They get us for 24 hours. After that, they can come and talk to Chief. They can make a deal with Chief to have a hand crew out there, or a lot of the times we'll bring a tender in for them to supply their wildland engines themselves, and we just making runs from town or a water source to them.
And
So-
I'm guessing that is just like a regular contract. If I was running a tanker, they're going to give you the going rate. Okay.
Yep.
So my next question, I think you kind of covered it. You're out there. I don't know. Somebody's pasture's burning,
Sure.
and it's going to the trees.
Okay.
Here comes the cavalry. Within 24 hours, the Forest Service firefighters or smoke jump, whatever they send,
Sure.
hell attack, whatever. They become the on-site commander when they arrive,
Yes.
and then they could at that point they could say, hey, roll up your hoses and go
Absolutely.
home. Okay.
Absolutely.
Or they could hold you.
Yep.
Okay.
So a lot of the times they'll say, hey, we're good. What do you got? It's like, all right, well, we have 2 lengths of hose line out there already. We got guys set at this anchor, flanking left for the fire, digging hand line.
Right.
They say, okay, well, we'll go and bump up your guys, and we'll send them back once we get up there. If you want to drop your hose, we can hook right into it. That's why we have a plethora. And at that point, we get the stuff back, right?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
So if they take your hose, do we have hose in the house to refill the truck so that it's back in action, even though you've got equipment that we? Okay.
Yep. So like I said, we carry about 600 feet between 3 progressive hose lays.
on the truck.
On this truck. So on the other side, we have 3 backpacks.
So I'm guessing you have the same in the firehouse to reload the truck.
Yep.
And you got the same in the house to reload that truck.
Yep. And the Forest Service
Okay.
is really great. They'll just bring back a bunch of hose and say, hey, I don't know what's yours, so here, take what you want. So the local guys work really good with us. We got a great working relationship with them when it comes to it. So, like I said, in the standard response, we're gonna be that initial attack. So we're gonna be out there maybe a couple hours in reality, right? So just because of proximity, we have the whole crew right here,
Right.
and we have heli-tac right here. You know, we have a lot of support and quickly. So in reality, if we're gonna be out on a wildland fire, it's gonna be the first 2 hours.
Yeah, but if they're trying to bring firefighters from somewhere like Oregon,
Yeah.
they need that 24 hours.
They
That's what
very
you're
well
saying.
could, and that's why it's set
Okay.
up like that. And that's
Nope, it
and
makes
that's standard
perfect
across
sense.
all districts. All districts in Boise County have that same agreement.
Okay.
Question. You guys keep any EMT medical bags on this unit?
We carry a standard stop the bleed kit, right? So in case we have a chainsaw emergency or anything like that. But a lot of the times the duty officer is going to be with us, and they always have EMT gear.
Yeah.
Chief carries EMT gear in his rig at all times. We have EMT gear in the command vehicle at all times. Other than that, we carry a pretty much standard stop the bleed kit everywhere we go.
Does a standard EMT gear include AED or that for a cardiac event in the field?
Command has AED, right?
Yeah, well, both the command and
Sure.
my command vehicle both have AEDs.
Okay.
But as far as carrying it up the hill when we're
No,
cutting line,
I just meant it's on scene.
Yes.
No, I get that. You don't want somebody carrying
it is
around.
available. In
Yeah.
case we have an IWI, which is an incident within an incident, we have the capability to respond to that in
Do
any
that.
capacity.
So your hoses aren't marked that say GVFPD on it, so you could get back something from Oregon
Yep.
that may have not been maintained as well as your hoses or something like that, so you have to check them over each time and.
For the most part, we always, when we're rolling up, right, we're checking for frays, burns, anything like that. We're checking the seals on them. A lot of the times, these Forest Service guys have a lot better stock than we do. They have a pretty rigorous maintenance stuff that they do with their hoses, especially when you get into IDL and stuff like that. Everything that gets rolled up on a fire gets sent down to a cache in Boise. And then they have a whole dedicated team that goes through every inch of hose, every seal, pressure tests it, cleans it out, rolls it up, rebands it, looks brand new by the time you're done.
Is that at NIFC?
Yep.
Okay.
And a question on this, so you can pump and roll on this as well, right?
Absolutely. So these pump units are independent. They're not PTO driven. So they are its own gasoline powered on the rear of the vehicle. So we have the pump and roll capability with all 3 of these wildland engines.
So this is diesel. How much gasoline do you carry for the pump?
So this pump right here carries about 2.5 gallons.
What's that run time? That's what I was getting at.
I haven't been on scene long enough to run out.
Okay.
So
So they're pretty fuel efficient.
yeah.
Okay.
So they're a small, maybe 10 horse
Okay.
on these. I've seen 20 horse on setups with just the standard fuel tank. So we actually get pretty decent with these little horsepower. So like I said, we can push close to 200 GPM out of the back of that if we had a good solid source and had the need.
The reason why I brought that up for, you know, a lot of times we'll get a little grass fire along the shoulder, somebody dropping change or something. So if it's like 100 yards long and you got fire,
Yep.
these guys can come and walk with it and do the whole thing instead of parking and dragging hose out with them.
And that
If it's going up the hill, then they'll be in one spot and then send hoses out.
And that's part of your wildland training. Most of us that have the training here have done our training with IDL or a IDL approved class. So, and that pump and roll is one of the class points on there that they do teach you how to do. It's a big thing in wildland. A lot of people do it. You see a lot of it in smaller grass fires, as Mr. Taylor here was explaining. But that's one of the biggest things with wildland engines. They need to be able to move, right? So They all have the capabilities.
Can you climb hills?
Not more than just a normal pickup, right?
That red one will.
That 43 will.
What's your revenue?
Whether you want to do it with it or not, it's a different story. Depends on the driver.
So you have, if you're going uphill, you guys have to.
Yeah. So rigs stay on the road unless we have a nice field to drive into.
Okay.
We're not risking our savior, our water source, for a little extra hiking time.
Yeah.
So,
Just curious.
absolutely.
Very ignorant about vehicles.
No, that's all right.
It's tank, 841, Bill.
Yep. So 841's our older brush rig. 2006 Ford F550 as well. Got a manual V10 in it. This one's gas, which makes it a little bit different than the other one. Only meaning fuel source, right? No drawback to it being gas. Basically the same setup. The only thing different is a couple levers and placements of it, right? So the plumbing's a little bit different, but it's the same overall. 400 gallons, yeah, so you see the yellow. So the yellow is actually a type 2 hose, which is a little bit more armored than the white, which makes it a little bit heavier. So a lot of the times in wildland incidents, you'll see the white. Because it's lighter, it's easier to carry, it's a nylon. This has a little bit more of like a Carhartt kind of rough exterior, right? With a liner in it, a rubber liner.
So could you use the white hose in this rig, or is it?
Yeah. So they're totally interchangeable.
Okay.
This is just a different type of hose, but it's under the same 1.5 inches is what really matters.
Okay.
You can use whatever you want, but you don't really want to pack 1.5 structure stuff up a mountain because the weight difference is so much.
So if you were replacing
Absolutely. So same deal. We got hose reels on each side, 400 gallon capacity. Same engine on it. The controls are a little bit different on the back with Smith Engineering, but same pump and roll capability. We just can fit 3 tops in there, or if you want to get cozy with your neighbor. So. Yep. Nope. So being standard across the board means you have to have 2-inch inlet, 1.5 outlet, right? That's standard across the board. So if we needed to unhook the water source from this and reach out the truck, so again, dual hose reels. We got a smaller pre-connect on there, of course. Packs on the other side. The only thing that makes this Type 6 different is this actually has a deck gun capability. Deck gun capability. So we have on our structure engines, we have big water cannons on the top. So this one has a smaller version of that. So we'll take that cap off, and we have a unit that just goes right on there, puts right in. Yep. So that we could use that in the same capacity as one of these hose reels on the side of the truck walking through the fire. We can follow the fence line going down, the guy on top do his thing.
In the parade, exactly.
Yep.
I want to add one thing to this personal experience on this truck. From probably 17, the engine was replaced. It only had like 10,000 miles because it's the gas V10. It's don't idle the thing for an extended period of time. It has an oil lubrication issue with the top end. I don't know if Ford came out with an update or anything like that, but that's why the engine was replaced. I think it was 17.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
I can pull the TSB.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's
So yeah, 4-wheel drive.
JC, I forgot.
400 gallons. 400 gallon tank, just like the other one. Yep. Same flow rate and capability. The only difference is this has a deck gun, and the seating capacity is a bit smaller. So.
And it also, I mean, like you've probably seen it with the snow plow on it. we got the snow plow to take care of our LZs and all that. But it was a lot cheaper than pay something. And they'd show up when they wanted to. Or
Yeah. Chief, I didn't see this rig on your apparatus report.
No, I had to do another draft too with this one. So yeah, thanks for.
So this is our 2006 Type 3. So when we talk about Type 3, right, we're talking about water capacity, right, pump capability. So in the wildland world, this would be considered a Type 3 wildland engine because it has 1,000 gallons, four-wheel drive capability, all that fancy stuff, right? So 2002, Seaver and Stevenson, S&S. There's a military designation behind it. I won't bore you with the details. This was more recently than anything converted. This sat around under John DeBall and with nobody using it. So Chief Cleveland priced out a skid unit in the back. Got a 1,000-gallon tank, dual hose reels, just like anything else. Pump and roll capability, just like anything else. This just has a bit more off-road capability than a lot of the other stuff we have, obviously. So still a lot of military stuff attached to this truck, just like it came. Not very much has been converted except for everything on the bed. Rather large diesel motor underneath it. Gas pump in the back, right? So if you're familiar with military rigs, right, we have all your blackout buttons and all of that, so it's kind of a learning curve to get used to. Another bigger thing with these is military loves their compressor systems when it comes to tires and run flats, and all of that is actually controlled by push buttons attached to the dash. We can actually air these down to probably about 3 bar, which is like 10 psi, and they actually stay beaded. Military loves that. It always is equalizing its own air pressure. But in terms of capability, we can pretty much take this up any damn logging road we want and know that even if we come across a tree, we can remove said tree and continue towards the fire. Biggest thing on these obviously is the 1,000-gallon capability. When you're talking wildland, 1,000 gallons is huge. This doesn't carry a tank, a lot like the rest of them. We do have dual hose reels in the back and a few extra pieces of 100-foot hose. So a lot of the times this is going to be either direct attack with the vehicle or a support roll coming up, maybe a logging road to feed the other guys, right? So this gives us a nice bridge between a tender and an off-road vehicle that we can know we can get anywhere with. So
Where's this parked?
most of the time, Station 3. So come wildland season, might be down here, parked over here. That is yet to be determined. This spends the off season at Station 3 along with 821 and our pump trailer in the back.
So it can pull water out of the pump.
If it had to, we don't have, the one thing we do not have on this is actual suction hose. We actually have it on the other rigs, which if there's another rig there, we just pull it off of that. A lot of the times we're going to be feeding it for something, right? We'll have this shuttle, right? And we can just make up our water source wherever we need to.
Can you explain to them the difference between suction hose and...
Okay, so, all right, so we have flat hose here, right? This, we can only put pressure to. Right.
Like a fire hydrant.
Yep, so we'll hook this to a fire hydrant, the PSI will make this rigid, it'll flow. So we need the exact opposite when it comes to suction. So it's the hard rubber hose. I don't see one very readily available, but it's usually large diameter, hard hose that will go flat under suction, right? And we can go roughly 30 feet. And actually actually pull it in with this pump. Just a couple minor adjustments, a valve close here, a valve open there, and we can actually stop pulling from the tank and start pulling from the water source. And if we wanted to, we can actually pull that into the tank if we really wanted to refill it that way too. It just gives us an extended time on scene.
So we only missing the pump.
Right. Right.
So
our engine, the other two trucks have hose that we can actually grab if we wanted to, but
no place on this truck for the things like that.
we could adjust a few things and mount some.
Would that be a good thing to do?
If you want, it's not necessarily a big deal as long as you have it on your other ones. So we don't have it up in Lowman on our Type 3. It's not technically a requirement.
So would this be responding like with those two?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. It depends on where it's at, what the road's like, right? We would much rather support it with the big tender. Sure. Either this one or 822 back there.
So I just want your opinion. I'm not gonna hold you to the fire. Would it be smarter for us to have suction hoses on this road? I don't know. I'm asking.
I asked too.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Okay.
I mean,
Because if you've got one truck over here and another over there.
Because if this thing responds and nobody else is there, that's what I'm getting at.
you have some time.
Okay.
So,
All right. No. That's
Yeah.
things because we're next is the budget, and that's why I'm learning all this.
Yeah.
Because we got to figure out what dollar we're going to spend on what.
I've been doing the wildland thing for 3 years now, and I have never seen a Type 6 come with its own suction hose.
Okay.
So that's where I'm going to put that. And
Okay.
Be it as it may.
Because
And
you can feed it there's usually a tender there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I work with 3 different fire departments in this county. and
Are
not
we
one of them
doing
has a
anything
Type 6.
detrimental by not having I don't want to.
On this specific truck? No.
Okay. We're not doing anything detrimental if we don't have suction hose on.
Not on this
Just
truck.
more top heavy weight to carry.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
And if we
okay.
do have suction on there, we're also not doing something detrimental, is that correct? Except
Sure.
for the cost of the hose.
Cost of the hose.
Right.
And what would, if you were to put a hose on here, what do you think that would cost, do you know?
That's out of my wheelhouse.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, is it like
Could be.
$500, $5,000, $10,000?
That's totally out of my wheelhouse.
I don't
All
know.
right.
By the time they make it up, it could be anywhere from $30 to $50 a foot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah, I don't know.
That
On
would be
that
the thing.
size, because you said it's what, 6 inch? What did you say the suction hoses are?
2 inch on these.
The
Sure.
suction hose would be 2 inch?
Yep. So
Oh,
suction hose would be 2 inch.
so that'd be a lot less money than.
A lot less money than
Okay.
obviously our 6 inch right over here, but
Okay, thank
just
you.
cost benefit, you can bounce around with that. I'm not saying either way, to
Okay.
be honest.
Water sources, you
Because
have to go
Thinking
back out
wildland, this is gonna be way up the hill anyway.
look for a
Right.
water source and have someone else come in if you get another rig
Yeah.
in to nurse it.
Yep.
And the more times you make that off-road run, the more damage you do to the landscape, and it becomes harder and harder
Oh, yeah,
to drive. I get it.
I'd have 2 wildland rigs, right? Would take your pick, and then I'd run 822 up behind it with all the water in the world, and let that 822 do the water shuttle. And then feed the other ones. And if you want, you can feed this one and have this one be the in between, but that's just me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Question.
Yeah.
Since this doesn't have suction hose, and on wildland fire deployment, at least with the tender, you have to be self-sufficient, so carry the suction. But what
Tender,
the,
yes.
what the Forest Service does, will provide the 3-inch trash pumps with suction hose and everything in a fill site.
Perfect.
So the question is, does the department have a trash pump like that, for the river to fill besides the big trailer?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we do.
Actually,
that
you're not
stored?
gonna use suction hose on a trash pump. You, just on the inlet, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna push that water through a soft hose
Yep,
going to the
feed it.
source.
Yes,
The
yes, we do
suction's
have.
only for
We
pulling
do
the
have
water
those
out of
available.
the,
Where are they stored?
out of the river.
We have one here and one in this engine.
This is the new district officer vehicle. The recent grant that we just purchased.
So it's still, we got the pull-out bed and stuff in the back, so it makes it easy for the DO and the crews to get tools out of the back. You don't have to crawl in there. Everything can be put in its place and have its place.
So when you ordered this, did it come like this, or did you guys build this or do this to what you need and the way you operate?
Yes and yes.
Yes, yes.
Because we had to add the pull-out bed to the order.
Okay.
Because the company that did the truck doesn't do this type of pull-out fire trays.
Okay, that's pretty slick.
So we put the package together. And, yeah. Not much to say about this yet. It's, thank God, knock on wood, hasn't caused any hiccups or anything. It's, running good so far. I really can't.
Well, the one thing to say about it is we got it with a grant, so we've got very little money in the extras on this. And it's close to, what, $80,000 rate?
Yeah, it was an $80,000.
So how much did you say you got it?
76,000.
How much?
76,100, I believe.
Yeah, but then how much of that was covered by the grant?
That's what the grant.
That was
Oh,
what
the grant
the
covered-
grant was, and then with the, I don't think it even went up to 80, did it?
No.
What did you put into it, an extra 500 or something?
Yeah, I can't pull those numbers off the top of my head. We took the radio out of another vehicle and we had to purchase the lights and do it ourselves, but it was below 500, I believe, that we actually put into it.
Yeah, that's, numbers jumble up there.
I can't remember names, but I can remember numbers.
Mr. Dillon, are you
Absolutely, I would be glad to.
doing this one too?
Absolutely. So,
2016?
it's a 2005. So it's a 2005 one-ton repurposed ambulance, right? So under John Duvall, this was Medic 2. Once they got the newer one, we have now converted it into Rescue 831, which handles our rope rescue or river rescues. Any sort of rescue you might need, this has the capability. So, repurposed, of course, kept all the lights, the radios, all of that. So, main purpose of this is to carry all of our rope gear. And by the time you get all of our rope gear in one spot, it's a lot. So, we have hundreds and hundreds of feet of rope on these in probably 4 different rope bags, varying from 200 to 300 feet. So we also carry a Caspin winch. Did I say that right? Probably not. We carry that with a generator in the back. One of the biggest features is we have a gen pole. Yes, GIM. It helps out with change of direction. It helps out with mechanical advantage. Gives us a lot more to work with than just our surroundings. We can make an anchor point. We can make a change of direction for that rope to get up and over the guardrail, to be able to effectively bring our Stokes basket, our patients, and the crew all up at the same time with. This has all of the capabilities. This carries all our safety gear, our helmets, our harnesses, our gloves, our headlamps. We have just some basic medical supplies in this in case we need to do some sort of rehab for our guys. If they need to get out of the heat, that's fine. If we need to give them a little bit of oxygen, we can do that. We carry an AED in here, we carry a Stokes basket, we carry the wheel for the Stokes basket in case we have to bring the patient an extended distance back to the MS crew.
Like down from Pineborough Hot Springs?
Yep, one of those, or up from the river on mile marker 25. That was fun. So we carry just some basic EMS stuff on here. We carry enough just to stop bleeds, a little bit of trauma stuff, so we can effectively treat our own guys if we need to. We have EMTs, of course, on scene with command vehicles and the rest of our gear when it comes to needing transport. This will go out and an ambulance will. So we do not transport in this. This has been decommissioned as an actual ambulance. So that's why there's no emergency medical transport on the side anymore.
So if you only take this out of the rescue,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this carries, in addition to all of our rope gear, this also carries our boats for river rescues. So this is going to go on a river rescue as well as a rope rescue. So back here, we'll kind of walk back over there since there's a little bit more shade. I mean, you guys can kind of look at it as we come by here. All of our edge protection, webbing, right? So this is where we carry our winch, our generator for it, as well as the custom hitch mount that was made for this gen pole, which is a huge hand. We've converted the back. We've taken the gurney out of it and taken all the adapters and everything that went with the old gurney out. So we have more space. We can carry a couple more crew in the back, as well as give a little bit of privacy in case somebody needs to change in or out of their, gear or has an equipment malfunction. So here we have our pontoon boat, right? So we can put a couple people in this pontoon boat, possibly carry a third, depending on the rescue that's needed at the time. So we carry a stokes basket that's usually attached to the back. If the patient has any sort of difficulty, we can throw them in here, get them strapped down nice and good, and have a good platform to keep them up out of the water. We also carry an inflatable kayak under this, and it gives the person a chance to kind of boat out there, see what's going on, maybe have them grab the side and just give them a little breather, right? So this red guy you'll see is kind of like a skid unit, right? It's kind of like a sled, right? But for the water. This was possible by funds through Pay It Forward. It's an actual rescue raft. If we were to flip this over, it's almost, the whole bottom has hand grips on it, right? So if we can get this into position, takes one guy up front, kind of paddles it over like an inflatable kayak, gives the patient a nice low angle to come up and kind of crawl up on and just lay there while somebody can paddle them out of there, right? Or we can hook up a lot of rope, right? And maneuver this into the position to where that person can save themselves. So we have a lot of capabilities in here. We carry extra harnesses in here. We carry extra throw bags in here. We actually have a line launcher in here that we can launch a small line all the way across the river and have somebody pull that one of our big ropes across to set up a pulley system if we want. We have a lot of capability in the training to do this. Thanks to a couple guys out of Cascade that like to come down every about a year and a half, 2 years. They come down and do a refresher class with us, and we put a couple new people through it. There's only about a handful of us that are Swiftwater Rescue certified, purely because of cost of gear. So you have to have a lot of different things.
Cascade Raft or the town of Cascade?
McCall, actually, I apologize.
Okay.
So there's a guy in McCall Fire that does his own business teaching departments around, what is it, Wilderness?
Yeah, Wilderness
Rescue. Wilderness Rescue.
Nate Ostis.
Nate Ostis, yep, wildernessrescue.com. He's a great guy. He works for McCall Fire. Ran into a couple times since training. Great guy, in depth. He will cut you no breaks while you're out there trying to learn how to swim and some pretty nasty stuff. Usually I would say in May, but right now it'd be welcomed. But so we have a lot of different capabilities. Like I said, ground support guys are rather easily trained, but it's nonetheless any more safe being on shore. You have a lot more duties, right? You have a lot more responsibilities because you're everybody's safety net when you're right there. So, of course, you have different levels: technician, operations, and awareness, right? So, we like to have our ground crew at least the operations level versus technician, because then they have a little bit more than just the general understanding, and that's how we're able to actually get out there and effectively do this stuff. So,
how often does that happen in rescue?
A couple times a year. So whether we're doing recoveries, unfortunately, which is worst case scenario, right? The last Last two we had, last one specifically was a recovery, and the time before that was actually a rescue. So we did the recovery at 81.5. That was a 14-hour day. Trying to do that. Then we had about a 5.5-hour day up at mile marker 25 in the blazing heat for that one. And if you know that road up there, it's probably 250 at least down, and at a bad slope. So,
What's the life expectancy of these rafts?
depends on how you use it. Depends on how you store them.
So they're stored out in the sunlight?
Yep, so this stays in station 2 out of the direct sunlight. As a matter of fact, that's why we brought it over this morning versus a lot of the rest of the stuff. Is just because you're sitting out in the heat and everything, it will degrade these rubbers. You might know a little bit more about life expectancy of a pontoon boat.
Yeah, so actually a little history, this was donated by Greg Ramp from Air. He was one of the co-owners of Air.
Okay.
Back in the early 2000s.
Very nice.
And then we outfitted it.
Early 2000s, and you can see how well
But it's in
conditioned it
in
really
great
is.
shape. The main thing is keeping it
Yeah.
out of the sun.
Yeah.
Keeping it out of the sun.
There's no cracks in it. It holds air great. If you got a cold morning, you might have to do a little bit of pumping on it, but
In this particular model, it's got an inner tube, if you will, a bladder inside. It's two-piece bladder.
Yep.
So if you do pop a tube, you'll have 75% still rotation ladder.
Yep.
in it.
good rigid frame. It gets you good ways up out of the water. It's come in handy a couple times, for sure, to be able to have that leverage with a second guy to be able to pull them out of there. So it's really a key piece. It is kind of heavy. It takes a crew to move it, but it's worth it in the end. It gives you a great platform to begin that rescue from.
It was recertified by Air two years ago.
Perfect.
I believe. So we took it down, they did the whole walkthrough, checked all the seals and seams and everything, so it's all good to go. Again, he said for a couple, 2-3 years.
Perfect.
And it comes in really handy if you've got somebody across the river.
Yep.
Just as a transportation mode. You know, we've had somebody injured on the other side, or a car goes in the river and they go to the wrong side of the river to get to the ambulance. You can bring crews across.
Right.
And, shuttle people back and forth.
Helps out.
Curiosity, so
Absolutely.
say you had a rescue, I don't know how far up you guys go up South Fork, but if you had a rescue just past Big Falls coming down, how would you get the raft down there? Are you gonna have to put it up above and try to catch up?
Absolutely. That's really the
You
only way.
cannot, there's no way. can
You don't want to.
Yeah.
You
I was
do
just
not
curious.
want to, but yes. So in our mile marker 25 incident, we had actually got everything set to go up to Pine Flats and enter at Pine Flats for Big Falls, or is it Big Eddy? Here, Big Falls. So yeah, any time we can go in above and come down, it's worth the time, because that saves our manpower, the exhaustion of it, and in case something goes wrong, right, we lose the raft.
Right.
Right. If we're trying to get people to slide that down a hill, you're going to puncture it in a heartbeat with any of these slopes around here, right? You got too many rocks, made of different compositions, right?
Well, you're endangering everybody too.
Yeah. It's actually heavier than you think it is.
Oh, I've helped carry them.
Right. So, absolutely. Anything else about these guys? Perfect. Moving on. Yep. You're gonna have a multi-roll 6x6 Polaris. Don't ask me the year. I couldn't tell you offhand.
2008.
2008. Look at that. What did I do with that, Phil? So we have this set up in our winter configuration still. We've been doing a lot of other stuff around here lately. So what's unique about this gives us the capability to go up groomed trails. Gets us a little more places that we usually couldn't get a wheeled vehicle, right? So twin cylinder 700 in there. What's really cool about this, we have a radio set up. We actually have lights in this as well, but we actually have a EMS insert into the bed. So what we do there is we have a 2-piece Stokes basket, right, which is our hard basket. that we keep nice and folded back here. We can take a driver and an EMT, actually get to the patient and treat said patient there at scene as well as transport. So we'll pull that foldable Stokes out, put it back together, and with this med light insert, we actually can strap them in and they will not go anywhere. We also have a seat for the EMT that does actually roll from the front or back, so they don't have to stand up to go get to the other end, right? So that gives us the driver just getting to where he needs to be. That patient has an EMT at all times to be treated. We obviously carry your safety equipment, a little bit of rope, a shovel, you know, just some standard self-extrication gear, so to speak, you know, in case you run into some emergencies, right? So in the summertime, we could use this to go up trails. It's been used to find lost hunters in the past, up towards Boiling Springs, in that general area. Like I said, it is a 6x6, which when we swap over, it'll actually have the 6 wheels, of course. But we have these nice little conversion boxes that cover the extra spindle while these are on there. Obviously, the downsides, it's a bit slow. You're not getting anywhere very fast. But it's more than capable to go down a logging trail and get somebody out of there with a 3-person crew. You know, 3, even 4 people in it, including the patient. It can do that. So we keep that on this trailer. Usually we have the snowmobile off. It's probably what, 2007 RMK? 2002. 600 Polaris, right? It's just in the event of a trail rescue, right? Snowmobiler. Last one we had was broken femur. Yeah, it broke the tib fib, broken femur, but anyway, it was all the way up, almost in the Valley County line, up Scriber Creek. So we can hook up to this trailer with 1 unit and a couple people staffing it. They go up to the pullout up there, drop this off, this guy can go, right? He gets up there and buys you time for the side-by-side to get him out and transport. So it's a great combination between these two to have. And
yeah, so we can throw a couple of EMTs on this with a medical bag or whatever else equipment that they need. They could get to the patient a lot quicker. That's going to do like maybe 10, 15 miles an hour at most.
Yeah.
That track thing. So we get this out quick to stop the bleed or give someone breathing again, or put an airway in them and then
stabilized in general.
And then yeah, this guy gets there and he can slowly crawl him back up.
So again, in the summer, we'll pull the sled off. Sled gets stored at 2, just along with the rest of this trailer. We'll have this sitting on here, tired up. Ramps are sitting there on the other side, ready to go. So pretty straightforward. It's a great thing to have if you need it, 100%.
So the Ranger stays tracked up year round?
Yep.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah,
You do
so,
understand.
we put it on roughly right when snow falls. We usually let the weather depend on it. This has been something on my list I needed to get done.
With the amount of people in Crouch and stuff, the population keeps getting bigger, so we start putting the wheels on this. We can maneuver through town and through the crowds with the Polaris a lot easier. And pull them out to a collection point to where we're not trying to take our big ambulances through crowds and
right.
all that kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah, once the snow is gone off the peaks, and we're for sure of that, we'll swap the tires back over. You just never know, so we'd rather have it tracked than anything right now. So I imagine the next couple of weeks we'll have it swapped back over.
So you guys do that work yourself?
Yes. So we do all our tire changes, all of that ourselves, including these. So, yep, we do it all in-house. Saves a couple of bucks. That's for sure. Yeah. If you had old Fractal change some tires,
So the air trailer came about
station took it just got old and stopped working, and the last comprehensive report had a new station, well, this fills our air tanks, our air bottles for structural firefighting and stuff. So it was like between 80 and 90,000 for another fixed unit to go into. So after some brainstorming and stuff, we put together a proposal to pay it forward. We got a couple of parts from the military surplus, and we were able to put this mobile air unit that we can also put on our mutual aid list for other departments if they need bottles filled on scene or whatnot. They can call and request this trailer to fill up their SCBA bottles right on scene.
What pressure are those bottles filled for?
4,500 PSI.
So yeah, this is another great thing for Pay It Forward. They purchased the trailer for us, and yeah, and then if you can tell, the hailstorm we had a few years ago.
Put a few dents in it.
Put a few dents in, and nobody wanted to fix it. Nobody wanted to touch a trailer with a skin on it like this, so we did accidentally recoup some insurance money back for it.
Well, it didn't really destroy the structural integrity of it.
No.
Looks used. Yeah. So, how many cubic feet are in your air bottles? So like my dive tanks are 80 cubic feet, so that's like,
And how long are those tanks?
well, it depends on how deep and how hard you breathe.
Well, obvious.
So, at less than 35 feet, out.
Yeah, these are 45-minute bottles.
Oh, okay, so there's quite a bit of heat, because they're under duress, they're working, so they're sucking air.
Okay.
It's constant pressure, yeah. But like the guy thinks someone filled with aluminum tank.
All of a sudden again, oh no.
No, I was just thinking of that.
When you said 5,500 gallons, so everything's divorced there, so there's absolutely clean air, no oil. Oil issues with the air going into the tank. Is there a test that's run before the first bottle goes every time? Is there like a setup checklist before you start filling bottles?
It's just got the little gauging thing.
Okay.
This part of the tank.
Okay.
This is what we purchased from the military surplus.
No, it's great.
There's a scuba. They must have used it for scuba bottles or something, but it had like 3 hours on it.
Nice.
So that's dirt cheap.
Cool.
So we,
That's good.
Austin put his mechanical skills together, and
No kidding. No kidding.
Estimated bill cost 86.
According to Google, it's 45.
Compared to how much they
Okay,
want for the
thank you.
unit inside?
No,
That's
so
worse
we're
than
in that front
thought,
half where the bottles
because
are.
it-
So the only thing
4,500
in this rear
PSI.
half.
But I don't know the dimension of the power.
This little tower.
see if we get something change to that.
Yeah. 45. That's 90, right? And then, but you guys are working under duress, and I guess for diving you can be too, but I don't use air diving that I would be using if I was in a fire case. So, I just wondered, how long are your alarms on your tank? What, if somebody puts on air breathing apparatus or whatever you call that, in the Navy we call it oxygen breathing apparatus, but
How much air's left and how long goes hours?
yeah, how long do you set the alarm for? Is it like 30 minutes, 20 minutes,
I think
15
it's all
minutes?
preset, but I have to check.
I was curious because that also determines how long somebody's exposed inside the structure, right?
And then
then
come
they're-
out and exchange the water.
Okay, and then they're giving her, I think in the training I've been attending, they get a rest while another crew goes in.
Could.
Yeah, or it could be worse if the staffing, okay. So that all makes sense. It was just, useless information that I store in my head.
But you only carry so many bottles, so this kind of makes sense.
Right.
One guy in there filling bottles, making sure that.
I read all the meetings. Yeah, and
So-
his name was on there. Did a lot of research and stuff.
I went to Baker.
And I was very fortunate that he was able to locate this compressor.
Yeah, Austin's done a great job.
Yeah. What's that document you got?
This is just,
I think it was sent to you on the
2026 Apparatus condition and fleet strategy. I don't have fleet strategies because I just printed off what was given to us, which is
remember
this one.
that picture of that piece is like,
That's what's.
I got that one.
I think it's essentially the same
He drives the
thing,
bottle.
maybe just in a different format.
And then when you see
Yeah,
the
because
It's been a work in
puts your
progress,
bottles out and
so
then
that's what we're.
Yeah, that's what Chief provided us
and then
after,
the
I guess,
empty
discussing
back,
with the attorney about releasing that. So,
Yeah,
and then
I think it's pretty much the same information, just in a different format.
yeah, if we could get a copy of that, we could do another FOIA just for that, or if you can make a copy, we'll take it that way.
Yeah, you can check it.
and that's what he
Check it.
yeah.
If it's the same.
Yeah, I can look back in the email later, 2 weeks ago.
This was the old command car.
Let's know.
When we received the new
Insecticide,
purchase,
pesticide.
we used the old car, kind of rotated vehicles around, so. This is more or less right now our, off to school or off to different conferences for the members. So if we get 3 or 4 members that wanna go to a class or a conference, they took it up to Orofino this year. So we just converted back to just a people mover. Yeah, it's pretty much it. It's got like 130-something thousand miles on it, I believe.
Oh, it's a youngster.
Yeah, so, pretty much it with this. Not too much to go over. It's just a reserve people mover vehicle, and once we get a little bit more in depth into our number of apparatus that we have, we can look into selling it or keeping it or whatever it's worth.
Mechanically, it still runs fuel.
Yeah, there's about 8,000 feet of, because it was. Yeah, plus. Because it's got 2 TVs in the back. You can see all the antennas, but you can't pick up anything. And they had probably 8,000 miles of wires and cables. They had a box built on the bottom. It was just full of cables and wires.
Austin and I filled a complete trash can full of extra cable and wire out of the floorboard of this vehicle. We were like Chief said, everything, but incident command, right? Down in big cities, they have access to. It had its own Wi-Fi setup. It had its own TV setup that they could run drone feeds to the back TVs. It had different radios in it. It had a lot of stuff.
But it's nothing you need, is that why you took that off?
No,
Yeah,
absolutely not.
I believe Chief DeVal and stuff were chasing electrical props around with it. Radios and lights would, cut out and everything, so they removed about 8,000 miles of wire.
Really?
Oh yeah, roughly.
It was a lot.
A lot. That's
But
about a
since then, we
trash
haven't
can
had any electrical issues with it, so
Yep.
that being said, we moved the problem somewhere.
Lighter weight,
Take it all out.
Yeah.
That's how you do surgery, right? Oh, we don't need this.
Yeah, I think that's like that
Best part is no
surgery
parts.
they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Spare parts.
Yeah, spare
We
part.
don't need that.
I just made it better.
Out.
Yeah, everything is attached
Gallbladder.
to pull it out.
Still has the inverter in it and a few other things that came originally with it. So there's like a 5,000 watt inverter under the back seat, you know, in case we need to power something.
He'll make for some good conversation.
It has a slide deck in the back, just like the new Command does, except it was about a
Yeah, 'cause at the end of the day, I mean,
and we pulled that out and converted it into a people hauler now. So it's a lot easier. It's heavy.
Any questions about the
Big old Command.
Planning to hold on to it for a while?
Just long enough until we and the commissioners can sit down and do a deep dive about, you know, is it worth getting rid of, is it worth keeping, and, you know, we're still gonna be sending groups of people away. I'd rather, you know, there's this side talk, I'd hate to have like 3 or 4 people going somewhere and all in their different vehicles and all that, if we could keep them all together, and, but obviously it'd be a conversation with the commissioners and how they feel we should move with the fleet. So the good old pump trailer.
Who's gonna do it? Okay, how much water I'm waiting to hear. How much water does that thing move? As much as you want.
Yes.
1,500 minutes or 1,500 gallons per minute pump on it.
Full pump uphill?
That'll pump anywhere you want it to. It's a great big Detroit diesel.
Yeah. So it's a big old cat motor under there.
Okay. Cat?
Yeah, it's the actual cat motor. So I've been talking with my brother. We're still gonna figure out the designation for it, but obviously 3 different discharges, right? 5 inch? 5 inch. Yeah. So 2 inch off the rear, of course. Suction. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. That's pretty yellow.
It's just practicality, dude. The weight of this thing, trying to get it into somewhere. It's kind of a balance. I'm sure it's been used once or twice, messing around in the past, but we're going to take the time to go get a pump somewhere where we're in trouble.
So, I don't know if you know the bulk of the history of this, but it was a generator. The generator head went bad. John got it at military surplus for like $500, something like that. He got the pump. Took a 1.5 years, 2 years to build it out, and he did have intentions of putting it on a contract for a Forest Service, but also I think he wanted to have different draft sites here to literally go park it.
Right.
When
That's what you'd have to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd have to park it somewhere and kind of protect it a little bit so you needed it.
Yeah, I remember when we put it in service, and I think we were at the ponds at South Fork Landing, and it moves plenty of water.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't doubt it.
We got pictures of it, so. Yeah, I was there, I remember that.
There's a couple pictures inside. I think one actually of it hooked up and messing around somewhere. Looked like the South Fork with all the river rock. So I don't know where the hell you get close enough on the South Fork to do it.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, it's a really clean build. It really is. I mean, it's heavy as shit, but it's well built.
It's a triple axle.
Yeah. I give him props on that, man. It's a well built deal.
3,500 pounds times 3. I was thinking they're heavier axles.
No.
I don't know if I'd want to take it in the summer heat to Arizona or something like that. You might go through a few tires and bearings.
That's for sure. But yeah, it's set up, ready to go. Batteries have just got done reconditioning my 24-volt system.
Nice.
Yeah, went through about everything else. All the fluids are good. I couldn't dare fight it out. But it looks awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a great next application.
Yeah.
You have that opportunity for that application. Yeah.
That it?
Yeah, other than that, we got a little light trailer.
After this, I've got 2 questions as far as stuff from 3 years ago you guys talked about, just for clarification after.
Okay. I want to get everybody on this one.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this baby's running like a top now. Obviously, an older MQ Multi-Clip Industries, which is now MQ Whiteman, right? Good old decent light tower, right? Decent generator, tested, nice pole. I mean, you can go up probably as much as you want. I haven't had that thing extended really more than that. We've used it on recovery operations, extended operations, where having lights necessary, like river rescues and stuff like that. So we've actually hooked this up to the back of the truck and helped law enforcement search up and down Highway 17 for absconding personnel, absconding people. So you can hook it up, run down the road. I don't necessarily condone it, but if it works, right? So it's been around. I think it's about a 4,500 watt. Actually, sorry, 7,000. Yeah, so it's actually a generator, like I said, attached to a few LED panels.
Does it have a power output that you can tap into?
Absolutely, back here.
Over here.
So if we wanted to use it as a generator, we very well could. Just takes a twist of the plug and
110 and 220.
onwards you go. So obviously this pole folds down, hangs out the back a little bit. You can turn it right wherever the heck you want. You can angle those lights a little bit. I suggest before you put it up. Ask me how I know. And yeah, it's actually a pretty cool little trailer. It saved our bacon a couple times. That's for sure.
Ran all night on that, right?
Ran all night on that recovery. We had a few issues that have since been fixed. Just kept running down on fuel. We redid the bulb and filter and everything, and ever since then it's kept up perfectly. So I run it every now and then when I'm down at the station just to keep it going. She's been loyal to us. She helps. When you need a light tower, you really are glad to see this baby coming.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Encyclopedia.
I know your shit. Oh, not again. Bitter nipsack. That was the last one.
Hey, Chief, I would like to have everybody in the back.
Thank you, Chief Dillon. Larry Bronson. So this was
Thank you.
really helpful and informative. Mike just had a comment. Why don't you share that? The one you just said about.
I'm really pleasantly surprised because basically what I see is an issue here we'll look at, and we're monitoring this tank, but it's nothing critical. It's not like it's got to come out of service. And it's impressive as to what this little community has and the amount of training, because I'm sitting here and I just got fed by a fire hose on fire equipment, trying to sort it all out. So I kind of look at this different. I'm looking at it like a business and what we're doing. And so far, it's impressive. It's very impressive what's been accomplished and how it's been accomplished. So I thank you. It's a testament to the training in that. That was everything.
So, yeah, moving forward, we can take this information and kind of digest it a little bit more, and then in the future time, we can talk about strategic plan. Like Mr. Golan said, I don't see anything either really glaring. We do have a lot on the positive side of what we've got. Compared to other fire districts in Boise County, they would love to have the equipment that we have. So yeah,
Is there still public comment on the apparatus update? I just had a few questions for Chief.
I don't see why not.
Okay, Chief, a couple of years ago when the rescue was sold, it was, time, but that had everything in there. It did have a pump, it did have a tank, light tower. You were able to put basically everything in there. And there was talk a few years ago of replacing that. Now I know that things have been split up, 804, Unit 3, the mobile light tower, but is that something that you as the chief would like to try to get back to, is having a single rescue with everything?
Yeah, if I had a money tree or something like that.
That's what it's.
I would love to get an actual squad to put that out back into, but with the situation I was faced with, I had to make some quick decisions economic-wise and operational-wise, because 831, that the back didn't have any seat belts and stuff, and it was just, it looked like a coffin. And I didn't want to put people back there and not secure, plus there was a ton of equipment that could fly around and hit someone, and I was just like terrified about like people being back there and being hurt. Just
It was grossly overweight too. Yeah. We were really in a position, unless we found a bigger platform, that it just had too much weight, so it needed to go to separate vehicles.
yeah, and at the time we couldn't afford the type of squad to carry all of it at that time, so that's why we decreased the weight on 803 and 804 and tried to get things more in certain places to where they were, because before they were like splattered all over all the rigs, so we tried to dial it in a little bit so we didn't have so much all over the rigs.
Yeah, I totally get it, understand the situation and stuff. I'm glad to know that you would like to get back to one unit or rescue with everything. Obviously, it would probably be a tandem axle, truck that'd be sitting on it.
I've seen some really pretty squads that I would love.
Yeah, and also,
yeah, probably.
and going back to one rig would free up space in the stations potentially, and also one person literally could drive that to a scene if needed, whereas with things split right now, you might have to bring the unit 3 and then 804, 2 people driving for something down, car accident along the river that involved rope rescue in the water. But cool, I just wanted to have that clarification. The other thing was you guys talked about a mini pumper and replacing possibly 804 a couple of years ago. Is that correct?
Yeah.
This morning, I actually found a mini pumper. I know you guys were looking at one in New York that may have sold or whatever a couple of years ago. This one, it's in Ohio. It's a 2013 F550 crew cab, 300-gallon tank, 750 GPM pump, only 10,000 miles. Just for reference, they're asking 178,000. So just for that number, there's a mini pumper that could go over the bridges probably much easier, that we don't have weight ratings on the private bridges, things like that. So I see this stuff on Shop Garage. That's just specific. I may have sent you a link last year.
I think you sent me the link to that.
Yeah. So, and there's rescues on there, and so it's a nice place to get prices for
apparatus, because new, we know they're stupid expensive. It's,
Yeah, crazy expensive. So, no, thank you. I'm still, it's part of like the strategic planning, looking into the future and trying to, that's why I wanted to pump the brakes on 804 until we decided what to do, because I didn't, you know, everybody always hates getting that expensive piece of equipment and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, wish we would have got that instead and not this, but you're still locked into a huge payment, so that's some temporary positions that are fully compliant, but it gives the commissioners some time to really look into the future about where Garden Valley's going, what it's going to need, and we don't do like a knee-jerk reaction of you know, going out and getting another engine real quick, and it's like getting nickel and dimed over it, it's a used rig, so we can.
I think that's the hard part, right? You can go and spend 175 on that many dumper, but why is that district getting rid of that piece of equipment? So it's an unknown of what you're getting into.
The other thing is, yeah, it's nice to have wants, but you still have to pay for it. So it's either trying to find a specific grant for that, or in our last levy attempt, we were looking forward and trying to raise more money, that we did have a little bit of funds to be able to, look into some new equipment. But that got squashed, so we had to scale back. So, yeah, we've kind of been forced into a position of making do with what we've got and making the best use of it without having to go back to the citizens for more money, other ways to do that. So, but it's always, it's been on Chief's mind, and he's been looking forward and planning out ahead.
Thank you.
So again, yeah, I mean, the next step would be making some recommendations, so we definitely need to, we're getting a little long here in this meeting. I think we should kind of digest and each formulate our own ideas. And then, a special meeting on next month's agenda.
Whatever questions and stuff that you have, I'm always at your service. You guys, what you need.
Yeah, no, it was really good for me, especially looking at, I knew about some of the apparatus, but some of the newer stuff, not so much. Which is good to see the condition it's in. You can see the age of something on a piece of paper, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's really old. But then you see the mileage on it's low, it's been well taken care of, well maintained. It's still going to be very serviceable for our communities.
Yeah, so that's the tour of the $1.3 million worth of stuff and wheels. So appreciate everybody that stuck around to view it all.
Okay, so you asked for new business?
Yeah, what did you have for your request?
This was after that.
Mine's after that, executive session.
Oh, why don't, well then, let's move 10.1, about more commissioners. Let's just put that under 11 future agenda items, and we'll do it in the next meeting. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I know it entails a bunch, I'm guessing, but I'd just like to discuss the pros and cons.
Well, it'll give us some time to see what the standards are.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so basically boards have either 3 commissioners or 5 commissioners. And some boards in the valley have 5. The county has 3. There's some restrictions with 3 commissioners that makes it a little more difficult to be able to conduct business. So but at the same time, adding 2 more means a total restructuring of things, so we gotta see if it's,
And Bill,
Yeah.
at one time, we actually had 7 commissioners.
you had 7. So it's always an odd number.
Yeah.
Time frame. Or some going way back.
Way back. Yeah. We don't want to put a year on that.
We're not going to.
Okay, but it's just a question that we should want to answer.
Thank you.
Or we can each research that.
Next. Put it on the next meeting.
Okay. All right, at this time then, it's 16:23. Commissioner Van Dyke requested to move into executive session for personnel matter.